Haiti's interim Prime Minister, Claude Joseph, who has run the country since the assassination of President Jovenel Moïse. He will step down, and a new government will be formed with Ariel Henry as Prime Minister. The new government will not have a president and will be tasked with organizing fresh elections as soon as possible. That's according to a government official close to the Prime Minister's office. Moïse had tapped Henry to replace Joseph as Prime Minister in the days just before the president was shot dead in his home in Port-au-Prince. But in the hours after the assassination, Joseph declared a state of siege and said he was in charge, launching a power tussle in the country. Haiti also had no working parliament and no workable succession plan, and was already mired deep in a political and security crisis when Moïse was killed. Joseph will return to his former post as foreign minister in the new government, which will be expected to be installed today. There will be no president of the republic, and the mission of this new government will be to organize general elections as soon as possible. And Canada will open its borders to fully vaccinated Americans next month after nearly 17 months of closure. The move to ease border restrictions comes after significant gains in the country's vaccination rate and a steady drop in COVID-19 cases. If the virus progress continues, Canada will welcome all fully vaccinated international travel or travelers by September 7th. All travelers will need to present a negative COVID-19 test before entry. The changes for American travelers and U.S. permanent residents will go into place on the 9th of August. The Canadian government first shut its borders in March of 2020, barring entry to all non-essential foreign travelers with few exceptions. Okay, and that's to the news to the moment. All right. Over the past couple of weeks, as we have our conversations here on Frank and Candid, a number of callers to the program have raised the concerns about the spike in prices that we seeing in our supermarkets. They have placed blame on the merchants. They have accused the merchants of doing untoward things and jacking up the prices and all of that, and they can't understand why the prices are going up during this pandemic. So I thought this morning I would share some information with you, my listening audience. Information and data that comes from some sources such as the UN World Food Program, the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, as well as the IMF. Now, the COVID-19 pandemic, along with the associated lockdowns, the restrictions on movement and physical distancing rules, have all led to a significant increase in unemployment. Some who still maintained employment did so with less hours, whether working from home or otherwise. Families, therefore, experienced considerable income losses. Consequently, all of this has altered the spending patterns of consumers and the level of price inflation that they face. The fact is, prices are about supply and demand. The global lockdown measures have affected the supply of and the demand for certain products, and hence affected prices. At the onset of the pandemic, with less income, the demand for many non-essential goods and services dropped significantly. With that initial sharp fall in demand, the result was a decrease in the prices of some items. Globally, consumer price inflation slowed down from about 4% in the first quarter of 2020 to about 2.5% in the second quarter. As lockdown measures subsequently began to ease, consumer price inflation picked up slightly, still remaining below the pre-pandemic level. Further, owing to COVID-19 related supply disruptions and the strong demand for consumers who were stockpiling food, medical supplies, personal care products, cleaning products, toilet paper. Never seen so much toilet paper move out of the supermarket before, as in the shopping days of the lockdown. Well, the prices of these goods began to increase substantially. Of course, increases in food prices can have a major impact on the living standards of especially lower income households. These persons are the ones that generally spend most of their income on food. Even a small increase can cause these households to be confronted with difficult decisions. What we are seeing today is a price shock, and at the same time that prices climb, incomes have been decimated, and that impact can be devastating to families. The UN Food and Agricultural Organization's Food Price Index has risen 34% over the past year. It's driven by droughts in some key exporting countries, as well as the stockpiling by some governments and companies. The IMF, for its part, recently cited weather disruptions and strong demand for staple foods for humans and animals, along with a surge in shipping costs, all contributing factors to the trend. The sharp increase in international food prices has already started to feed into domestic consumer prices in our region. You see that as the different retailers, unable now to absorb the rising costs from their international suppliers, they now have to pass on the increases to you, the consumers. Naturally, as you feel the squeeze, you take out your frustration not on international suppliers, but on the closest entity you can get close to in the chain, the local retailer. May it be the Rams, the Best Buy, the Brisbane, whoever. They're close to you, so of course, naturally you take out your frustrations there. But let me share with you some data points extracted from a report issued by the UN Food and Agricultural Organization. 1. The food price index shows that global food prices in December were the highest for any month in the last 6 years. 2. Meat and dairy products rose by 1.7% and 3.2% respectively. 3. From poor weather conditions to COVID-19 related supply chain disruptions, 2020 was an unfortunate year for food prices. The organization also spoke to the fact that across the board in 2020, food around the world was 7.5% pricier than the period between 2014 and 2016 average. And they singled out the month of December as one with the highest of any month in the last 6 years. Now, one of the items that came across as a common item when callers called to this program and talking about the prices was vegetable oil, cooking oil. And the report goes on to talk about falling palm oil inventories had caused the product's price to rally, driving up the vegetable oil price index by almost 5% in December, after a jump of 14.5% in November. Brazil, for example, is currently facing the worst drought conditions in almost a century, raising serious concerns about both the maize and the sugar harvest. Similarly, Southeast Asia has been slower are seeing slower than expected growth in vegetable oil production. All of this, in turn, contributes in a major way to the overall rise in the food price index. Global food prices are on the rise. The food price index indicates that prices in international markets have risen by 40% from a year ago. Prices of vegetable oil in particular have surged, showing an increase by almost 110% over the past year. Well, that's significant. And it is borne out by the things people have said about the price of vegetable oil, which was way down at one point, and the figures they're saying now, here they're talking about 110% increase in the last year in vegetable oil. Other commodity prices, like those for metals, oil, and other minerals prices, have also shown sustained increases since mid-2020. But here's another piece of economics that will and has impacted prices. Our major source market, the United States, has seen a weaker dollar. A weaker US dollar, will drive up world market prices. Reports are that the US dollar depreciated between 10% and 15% against other major currencies over the past year. Since most commodity trade is in US dollars, a weaker US dollar typically pushes prices up as traders demand a higher price to compensate for the exchange loss. So, the weaker dollar, well, currently playing in both a stronger trade and rising prices. Although none of this may be much comfort to you, I must still point out that there's a reality here. With all that has been said, it is important to realize a couple of things. One, the drastic year-on-year change in food prices reflects in part a rebound from the 10-year low seen in the early months into COVID-19 restrictive measures. Secondly, international food prices have really not reached historical heights as in the levels that was reached during the food price spikes between 2007 and 2008, and again in 2011 and 2012. So while food prices are high, for now, it's really no need to panic. You will feel it, but we'll get better. The point of all of this is that generally, the hike in food prices that we are currently experiencing cannot and should not be fully attributed to local merchants, as we say, jacking up prices without reason. They have to respond to the international suppliers. If those prices go up, and they have, then it will be passed on to you, the final consumer. Unfortunately, it's just the reality of doing business. Buy local, support local. Those are my thoughts. We will take a break. When we come back, on 718-577-2916 and local number 465-2555, you can weigh in on the price increases during the pandemic and talk about anything I just said. We'll be back.
The St. Kitts and Nevis Chamber of Industry and Commerce would like to remind persons
it's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. One people. We are roll up to roll up, yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right, alright. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us
Bless up. Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and, most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same, because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
For discussion, as has been raised many times before, the prices in the supermarkets and why they're heading up. I'll take your call. See if anything I've said you agree with or disagree with. Let's go to the call. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello.
Yes.
I would like to tell people how to spend the money. I tell people spend a lot because you know how food costs while you're selling food. I quite agree selling food because I don't do it, but you know, I went to the market for about 3 pounds of sweet potato, $15. Eh? The food too expensive. Eh? You can't get a mattress spend $100 and I come out with nothing. Eh? I sell green fig with $3 a pound with a heavy skin. Eh? Watermelon nearly $6 a pound. When we eat out that with patty watermelon, we go to nearly £1.50. Clear skin. Eh? But kill people. You know, kill people. And government, that government must help them with the government, must help them with that government, they want to take it from the government. Eh? Tell people spend the money how they want. Okay.
Okay. And callers say local is killing people, so so much for the buy local. Okay, let's go back to the phone call. Good morning, welcome.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Nayas.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah, man, I just turned on the radio and I heard you talking about the increase in the food prices.
Yes.
No, a lot of, well, I anticipated it, because if you listen to even the U.S. news, they were talking about the rise in the food prices. Some of the factors they gave were insufficient laborers, because in some cases the farmers were unable to reap the crops. You had the COVID outbreak, and then you had this limitation on the importation of workers. And in some cases, like the meat packing factories and so, there were outbreaks. Now, so it was predicted, only that maybe we weren't paying attention. And added to that, you had some natural occurrences, drought and so in some of the places. Now, what I think should have happened is that our consumer affairs should have been keeping track. They have the capacity. Now we have the import, all the trade come to the port, whether it's your airport, and the invoices are passed so that they have access to the CIF prices of the goods. So they even have, before they go on to the market, they have an idea of the increase in the prices. You know what I mean? So you could do a rough statistical thing. How much it is now costing to bring it in to the CIF, cost, insurance and freight. And see how much it is changing by. Because remember, in most cases, the foods are VAT-free. They don't have to pay consumption tax, but they're VAT-free. And therefore, they would have been able to inform the public in advance. So when you go to the supermarket and you see something gone up, then they should be able to say, well, the CIF price had gone up by maybe 20%, 10%, and maybe if it seems exorbitant, to move towards the chamber, because there is an agreement with the chamber that supermarkets and retailers should have, there's a limit to the markup. Are you aware of that?
Yes, yes.
There's a limit.
I've heard of that, yes.
Now, if you see that this good, given the CIF value and whatever, to the transportation, if you want to add it to it, to get it to the store is so much. And the increase is less. After you add the 30%, it is exorbitant. They should make some move. Either reduce it or something, because we are not helpless. It's only that we are slow. And the needed resources, you have the planning unit statistics. They could even assign somebody in the same commerce thing to do the marketing analysis. So we know. And another thing, sometimes there is the unwillingness on the part of the importers to change the market. Because there may be other markets that offer the same product at a lower price.
Maybe because of relationships.
Yeah, but the relationship making it harder for the poor people.
I got you, yeah.
You even have CARICOM. CARICOM produce a lot of goods, you know. And these goods are free. The CFE. CARICOM goods are Barbados produce a lot, Jamaica, Guyana. So that effort should be made in times like these. Effort should be made by the wholesalers to find the same or similar goods at a much lower price. And then to be always sticking to the U.S. U.S. goods carry a 25 to 45% markup, you know. I mean, duty. Whereas goods produced in CARICOM are free, 0%. But sometimes we are our own worst enemies. Because, but if you come from Barbados, you ain't good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes we are we want this brand. But who said that the CARICOM brand is inferior? Who said so? You know, I went to Chile. I was surprised that a lot of the fruits are produced in Chile. I didn't even know that until I went there. Them apple and grapes and whatever. Pressure should be put on the importers to look for new markets, but some of them get commission.
Okay.
Some of them are agents, eh? And agents look, they're going to get commission.
That's right.
And they're going to get markup. Then they get distribution cost. So that the conversation should be really, what are the influences? And it is up to me, as far as I'm concerned, the Consumer Affairs Division not doing a good job. Because sometimes, the thing going up slow. And the people them double the price. Who said they double the price? But if you don't know that the price overseas almost double, you know, then you make accusation.
Right.
And we have got in our own budget to begin to make substitutes. Make substitutes in your own budget. If you used to like this brand beef, buy the cheaper one when things get back. Because all of these, you know, help to lower the rate of inflation. So I want our people to pay attention to it. All right then.
Okay. Thank you. Good information. All right. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Morning. How are you?
I am well.
Okay. Mr. Nyers, even the plantain was skin thicker, more than $3. And that shouldn't be. They have people going around to the supermarkets and see the price. They must got people in the market to see how the things them go. Never mind they buy the things them expensive. Because when they go to the supermarket and they buy things a little cheaper and they come to the market, they try to put on more on the people them. That's what they're doing. And then say the market spoil the things. But these things used to spoil when he was on the road too. And they wouldn't put down the things them and got this amount of things on the market stall just for show. They can't get no sale, carry down the things them. Is that somebody had to look, the government had to send people in the market to go around, because it's not fair. Sweet potato, $6. Things were here. Not supposed to be so expensive. If they're coming in, you must know what's coming in. Okay, see you.
Okay. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Hello, Mr. Nyers. Good morning. I'm calling you from New York. Yes. This is Alfonso, better known home as Sunny Boy.
Yes.
I'm Jam Down, brother, and I'm Dumpling, brother. You know Sergeant Emery?
Not sure. Go ahead.
That's my nephew.
Okay.
That's one of my brother's sons. I'm calling because yesterday there was a caller that made a statement about Robert Mugabe, and he said Robert Mugabe was president of South Africa. Robert Mugabe was president of Zimbabwe, formerly known as Rhodesia, not South Africa. Now I'm looking at ZAZ all the time. I see that commercial from Hartford, and the outrageous wait for food in St. Kitts. I live in America. You get a bottle of Gator, a 32-ounce bottle of Gatorade in America for 99 cents. And in Hartford, that stuff costs $5. I said, what is this? When St. Kitts did away with this sugarcane, the government should have subsidized farmers to grow food like they do in America. In America, every industry is subsidized by the government. We have the best soil in the Caribbean. Because when we used to grow sugarcane, I used to work for Hartford on the launch with the sugar boats. We grow the best grain of sugar in the whole Caribbean. Our sugar grains are so big. It brings back a lot of sugar. Our sugar cane was so soft and sweet. So the government, when we did away with the sugar, they should have taken part of that fertile land and come in with massive farming for the people of St. Kitts to feed them. We should be buying food from Dominica and Dominican Republic and stuff like that. We got the best land in the Caribbean. So that's ridiculous when you see a bottle of fruit punch $11.99. In New York, that costs 99 cents. And outrageous how hospital is selling their food for so high. I look at the commercial, I can't believe a box of cereal in hospital $11.99. People in St. Kitts don't make that kind of money. In America, you get cereal for 99 cents. And it's ridiculous, Mr. Nice. And I blame the government for all them high prices in food because they should have taken part of our land and farm food for the people. And it's ridiculous that my people...
I think we lost him. All right. Well, we got the point. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Well, every time I got some good topic, I just can they do call in town, sometimes the money from my phone. Because I'm a poor man. So, you had a topic there, son, yesterday. And Sunday, I was listening in Chico. They were talking about the street vendors. But everybody know the produce where we got here, like the provision, them supposed to be in the market. You got the market a long time. Everybody know that. I mean, until the Prime Minister already cook food and where food can't go together. So you can't wash food when you don't cook it. But when you go market, saturate them after the time, you could wash them food there if they're dirty. And they were saying that the people them like who were selling food on the street to go down by the market. I got my children mother there, and I tell she must go down and find out what's going on and so. But she said she don't wait until the government to find a place. But I tell her, well, don't share every part they used to sell. It's only about 3 of them used to sell there. 2 of them used to sell there from Monday to Thursday, and there's a woman come sell food from Friday to Saturday. And my children mother used to sell Saturday time. But the thing about it that they were self-employed people. And whoever advised government to take everybody off the street, it was only supposed to me. And anybody could understand the people with the food, them, the ground food and them, should go down by the market, that they prepare for them. That's going to take somebody to the Tuesday, from off the radio station to the Tuesday. When the station going to close down, if nobody so supposed to get some appointment done make for somebody coming as no just gone, no. That's why it's supposed to be, you know. The man talk about put container. This is no carnival. If you put a couple more people up there, with the 3 or 2 people who are up there at the time to sell food, make sure they got a nice table, them table where could fold up, that they could pick up and go. People buy and go. If you got a truck selling food around the square, buy and go. If you got a seat, people on harbor there. So all we got to do, if person who's selling, they're going to get something to sit down because sometimes things slow. 12 o'clock gone, 1 o'clock gone, people go walk cowboy food on the street. So you take a seat. But not for people come and eat. They don't go back on a job or find some other place. But the government supposed to realize that we got public works, we got water department, we got police, we got teachers, we got nurse, we got pet, we got step. Right? You can't take on nobody else. So let them people they go work. I don't go 3 weeks, work 3 weeks now. Most of the people them couldn't sell them kind of food home now. And I grumble because me on the street, I go market every Saturday. And I mean, the people who sell the provision, they could sell. But other people them who cook the food now can't sell. You understand? Mm-hmm. So the people who live far in the country, come to the mother do shot well. You understand? So she can't even sell food, they won't come buy food. There's some people talk about boy price, some people don't talk the right thing. The people them could be there, but make sure they take up something and carry them home. No put no all this and all that up and downtown. The barbecue where they cross the road there. They could find some kind of place to put them up on the best oil also because everybody got asthma pass cross there. I saw the time and said they got all smoke. I don't they can't get electrical stuff to make the barbecue car. Everybody got to live, you know. Right. Everybody got to live. And that's the problem about it. Gotcha. So somebody got to, some advisors along with the government, somebody got to put some task in it. They got to find something soon. Because the government can't take on nobody for the payroll because you can't pay them people there.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, it's all the best.
All the best, my man. All right, let's back to the phones. Good morning.
Morning, Brother Tony.
Hey, good morning.
Yeah, but once again, I want to thank God for the technician that did it, you know.
Yeah, hearing it well now?
Yeah, man, hearing them well now, man. I want to thank them. Maybe they have to them pass and go to some hard work up at this level.
Okay, good.
I'm going to fix whatever fix, man. Anyway, just want to thank them, you know, because there is a nation station and we got to really sit in the farm. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Brother Tony, that overseas caller, I used to agree with him. We'd plant more food. And Brother Tony, one of the problems, you know, is the farmers and the vendors them. Is the problem. If the farmers and the vendors them work out things and come together, and the farmers sell the vendors them the food at a price that they could sell and make something that they could turn over fast and sell cheaper, it'd be better.
We call up,
everything $5.
With politics, they
yes.
I call up before, call and lay the blame on you guys, the farmers. They're saying you're charging too much for the goods and locally produced goods.
No, not me, man.
What say you?
Price, man. You can ask anyone dependent on the price.
Okay, not you. Okay.
When I selling reasonable.
Okay.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Everything $5, everything $5. You understand? No, you did a bag of potato plentiful.
Yeah.
Right? Forget about where. You sell a bag of potato $100. 100 pounds in the bag. You sell a bag of potato $100 to the vendors them. And the vendors them now will sell maybe for $3 a pound. You know money they can make back every boy a bag of potato $400 and sell it for $3 a pound. And I believe that the market will give us support instead of going to the supermarket and go buy. Because sometimes even the Chinese them, you as a farmer going to Europe, go tell them you want to help you sell your product. Then going to tell you about your boy things for $1 a pound and all these things. Like green sugar, green banana and red banana. And then when they don't buy $4 a pound now, they're going to sell it to all of $4 a pound. That ain't fair. You understand? Mm-hmm. If the farmers and the vendors they work together, we ain't got to carry anything in the supermarket. Forget about them. Because we got to push some people to buy food. And more people should eat more local. The local food we ain't going to get all these obese, this sugar, this heart. We live a healthy life to eat local food. Look continuously in the market. Half an hour is fresh fruit in the market, fresh provision in the market. And people skipping over them. But I get everybody going to the market, you know, because I believe that he gonna learn to go back to basics, and he gonna learn us to eat more of the local things. Because the Guyanese, them especially, they're showing a lot of interest into farming here. And they're showing a lot of interest into eating local too. A lot of these Guyanese, they don't eat nothing but their own stuff, you know. Their own stuff they do. And we should patronize that. Anyway, better to you get back. Let somebody get a chance.
All right. Thank you. Back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Mr. Nias, I need you to work with me a minute here. Now, concerning the food vendors, are they supposed to be mobile?
Which food vendors?
The food cart vendors. I mean, you know.
Actually,
they're supposed to be mobile.
Actually, that's what I thought, that they were supposed to be mobile and not in a one position. But still trying to get clarification on that. I thought that was it. But anyway, continue.
Okay, you know, my reason for asking you that, we got the same mobile food vendors, but at the end of the day, they have to leave. They cannot leave their trucks overnight or anything like that. You know, they could come in early in the morning, set up shop, but they have to leave. And from my understanding of what I'm hearing and seeing, these things are stationary. I mean, if that's the case, I mean, I don't understand that, because they know what's saying, well, the government need to put them somewhere. I mean, if you're mobile, the government do not need to put you anywhere. You could be anywhere. You could set up shop anyway. At least that's my interpretation. And for the caller from New York saying that he should get a rate for 99 cents, well, I will say this to him. I'm in the VA and it costs $1.99. So we are not to compare places. You understand? You know, and I mean, in New York, 99 cents, fine. Here, $1.99, same Gatorade, you know, and what do we expect it to cost in St. Kitts and Nevis?
And $5 in St. Kitts, so that's comparable to me, right? Isn't it? 5 EC.
I agree.
Okay.
You know, so we are not to compare prices in New York, and you know, it is what it is. You know, but my main thing is the vending on the street. I would like to know if they license a mobile, because again, my interpretation, you should be able at the end of the day to jump in your truck and take off and come back the next day. So if you are not doing that, you're stationary, and I think that is unfair.
Okay.
You know? Okay, that's my take, yeah.
All right, fair enough. All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Nias.
Yes.
I wanted to draw the same example here with the guy from the States. So if you take 99 cents at 270, that is about nearly 3, that's about 267 cents. You understand?
Yeah.
$2.67. Right, and by the time you put another $2 to get for cars, insurance,
customs, insurance, and freight.
Yeah, right.
And then the markup.
Basically, as a matter of fact, you nearly look like you better buy anything.
Actually, close.
yeah, to be honest, yeah.
When you do the markup for the profit the person must make, you know. So
yeah, correct.
It's
and
close.
Then, you know, the businesses have to, they have to employ people.
Right.
And some of them will employ some people when they don't necessarily have to have that big number. Sometimes they're sympathizing with people and give them a break, giving them a job then. You understand? Right. Okay, man, cool.
Okay, all right. Back to the phones. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Nias.
Hey, good morning.
I want to talk about, because everybody calling and talking about the guy called about the thing costs 99 cents. Now, when value marker any business place order, they get it for about 50 cents or less. You understand me? And they mark up the price. This is he talking about a store where they buy from the company and selling it for 99 cents. But when these big company down here, for instance, order it They get it at the wholesale price, cost about 50 cents, and the market way up, and nobody look back to see where the merchandise going. Now, that goes for that. Okay, let me explain something to you. Mr. Naras, people got to realize, the people who selling on the street, inland revenue do not give no license at all to sell on the road unless it's carnival time. Okay? Some of them get the license because when you're cooking food, the health department, everybody got to come there, examine the place, and see how the situation before you could bring them food to sell to anybody. But what they do, they cook the food and come out on the street and sell it. And then they're talking about they got a license. You know, it's unfair to inland revenue, not inland revenue, because inland revenue should be doing the work. It's unfair to the government. You understand me? The government let inland license issue a license, but inland revenue, they don't follow up and see that these people are in the correct place where they're supposed to be. Now, the gentleman in St. Thomas there again, he's so right. When you got a mobile van, you can't get 4 flat tires on it. You come, you sell, and you move up, and you go in the afternoon and come back in the morning. You could call the you call the electric light company and put a meter there where you're selling, right? And they just come and hook into that if they want current to do anything, and they pay the current to the to the company here.
Skillet.
They pay to Skillet, right?
Still living up
I don't see what the big thing in the market, right? Cook food and raw food always go together for years. I go up down Westbourne, got right across from the market. And in there, they sell cooked food on one side, and you got your porridge and them on the other side. They don't used to sell the clothes and all that inside there. And I'm telling you the honest truth too. Some of them come to the market with the goods, the porridge and so on. And they bring $10 worth of thing and want to make $100 out of the thing. So they sell the things too high. So it's competition down there now. So they're crying. People leave from India who had the nice stall and thing well set up and everything and come out on the street blocking up people's place and all kind of thing. Now they got to go to the market back now. They're crying. But roof leaking. This roof leaking. And then doing the road is a umbrella they had. Then you had no toilet. Then were to wash the hand. Nothing at all. So I don't understand how we can please people. We can't please them. You know, they're making the government look like, well, the government is the one who is the victim, them, making them a victim. But it is not right. It's not right. You see, some of them, they come to sell the thing, they leave the dirty things right there. And then it's a clean up the place. And them rats, what the gentleman had, who the rats them down in all kind of things. The rats come out in the night and make the street infested.
All right.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So, okay.
Gotcha. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Good morning, caller. You're live. Okay.
African ancestor.
Oh, okay. Caller, you there?
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially the most honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey and Queen and Zing. God bless them, my beloved African brother. How are you, all the family?
We all well. What about you?
Good, man, and the clan is good. Let me just say, man, blessed morning to Queen Mother Henry. Was right on the money, as usual, man. What a beautiful, intelligent African queen, beloved. Beloved, let me say, and beloved, I've been saying for all these times, beloved, you know, with those prices, brother, I remember last year, about the first 2 to 3 months of the COVID, prices here in New York went. About in the 5th, 6th month, the prices came back down to what they was pre-COVID, beloved. You know, but beloved, in St. Kitts Nevis, man, the administration should subsidize the farmers, and I've been saying this for years. And if they subsidize them, right, all of them, the prices wouldn't be as high. Because if they could give all of those Marriott and the whole gang of them, Rams and TDC and SL Hartford and all of them get ton load of concession, sure over hundreds of millions of dollars. Why you can't subsidize the farmers? And then the farmers could sell their thing at a reasonable price. So people who buy their food to turn it over again, they'll have to sell it at a reasonable price too. And these supermarkets, man, you know, they are vampires sucking the blood of African people in St. Kitts Nevis. Where the is those consumer affairs agents? What they do? Sit in the air-conditioned offices and don't do anything, and then the only time they get above the butts is when people come on the radio and make, you know, talk about the wrong that these supermarket owners are doing. That's the only time. Come on, do the work. Too many people in St. Kitts Nevis is not doing their job, and this is not now. This has been going on for decades. I know this administration is trying, but they need to do more, man. Let people do their work for the money that they get, whether it's weekly, every 2 weeks or monthly. Let them work, you know. And but we got to, and like I say, man, all of these garbage that is coming out of North America and Europe, we got to put an end to that. We got to be self-sufficient in food and do what we can. And now we ain't got 1 million square miles of land in St. Kitts Nevis, but we can work with what we have, beloved. Hey. All right.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. Sorry about that. Yes, beloved. So, you know, these farmers, they have to be serious, get subsidized, and sell the food at a cheaper rate, but they have to go at those supermarkets and make sure that they stop ripping off people of St. Kitts Nevis. Brother, thanks again for hearing me. Keep up the great work for Africanism and Paris. One love, my beloved brother.
All right. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Noyo.
Good morning.
Nabo. Mr. Rams just look after St. Kitts people. Rams give back St. Kitts people a lot of things. They look after the children home, the hospital, and the infirmary, the sponsor sports and stuff. You understand me, Nabo? And Rams have a food thing down on Irish Town Bay Road. Rams just cook food and give the people them every day. And when for the time, Rams give them whatever to walk home with. So Rams is the only one I could say helping St. Kitts people. Another thing again, Mr. Noyo, some of them turn hand in the market. They go in the Rams, buy Rams things them like the dashi and the tanyo, we cheap, we for $2 or $3, and then want to sell you for $6 a pound. You understand me? They're selling Irish, the one sell Irish potato for $5 a pound. You go in Rams again, Irish potato for $1.50 or something a pound. You understand? You go in there, the outside on the road, they're selling you a pound of sweet potato for $8, me could tell you. $8 they sell sweet potato for. Eh? So Nabo, the planting the things them, you know. They ain't supposed to be selling poor people them things so expensive. So what poor people just have to do, go in Rams and buy the provision, because Rams buying from the farmers them. You go in Rams again tomato for $2 a pound. They're selling your pound of tomato for $6 outside. The thing they must spoil on them. I let them cover the point. The government ain't have to give them nothing. The government ain't owe them nothing. This is dumpling. I don't care.
All right. That is always an interesting thought to me. How the people are selling on the street. They buy from the supermarket and sell on the street. I would think it should be the farmer should be selling to the supermarket. But anyway, it is what it is. No wonder it's more expensive when he comes back out the supermarket to sell again, right? Let's go back to the phones. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. It's me again.
Yes.
Now, I recall some time ago, one of the people from the agriculture department was saying that there's a chill. I think there's a chill at the market.
Yes, I think there is, yeah.
Yeah, I heard them saying they have chill at the market, chill at the abattoir, chill somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe some of these farmers need to contact the agriculture department. If you have your goods stored there as a chill, you take out about what you think you could sell on that day. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Now, in 1985, way back, 85, 86, I went to the U.S., down to the U.S., at Miami University on a course. And we were taken to the port, to the whole export and so business. We went to Publix supermarket. You hear about Publix?
Yes.
We went right through the shows, the operations and so. And there I learned that the markup in the USA is 1.5%. Let me say it again, you know. The markup for supermarket is 1.5%. Now you may say volume, which is true, but look how far 30% is from 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
And the farmer and this present government, they're to blame for the chaos on the road. You see, when you allow things to get out of hand, it's harder to correct. People go up thinking it is right. I recall when I was growing up, you know, Mr. Llewellyn Bradshaw, our first national hero, used to come down by the market, and if you were selling outside on the ground, he made you take up your things and go in the market on the stall. I don't know how many people don't say so. You could not have been selling all around basket like what? The chaos you see there. But it became a political issue. All this thing is politics, you know. Every time something is like, who will bail the cat? Who will bail the cat? So you start, remember when Honorable Marcelo started, you remember the painting over and the thing of the market?
Yep.
The aim was to get the people in the market. And it became a political issue. Then now, the same people who were planning to put them in there now saying, Lord have mercy, you take up the people. Everything is a political issue. And now, you're going to tell me you have the same people who balling. If you're so concerned about the vendors, go to the market and shop. You can't say they can't get sale if you don't go. And how far is the market from the circus? Count the number of streets you have to cross. You think about, the market far. That don't make sense. I used to go down to the market when the Dominica and the Vincentia boat come in. Down there, Rampack. The Dominican didn't have any bus taking you down there, you know. Whether you live country or town, you found the market. So if you could go to the market for Dominican and Vincentian products, why can't you go to the market for your local people? Stop making excuses.
And Miss Henry, people come from Nevis for that boat and go to the market too.
Yeah, I mean, I tell you, when you see the Dominica boat in down there, Rampack.
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know how the distance stretch. Get up, all of you who out there complaining, and go down to the market and support the people. And I'm glad they moved them to, you know, the other day we were talking about the, I am a member of the Association of Persons with Disability. I am now blind. I mean, walking to town with horrors. They got umbrella. They got the concrete thing in the middle of the road, hold up the umbrella. You can't walk, you can't pass. Retired Rally as an association for access. They fix the sidewalk to the ramp and the sellers block it up. No, but they have no consideration. But I'm telling to the government, you know, do not bow to the pressure. Let the politics end here.
All right.
All right then.
Let me see, get in a couple of calls here quickly. Quickly, caller, go ahead. You're live.
Good day.
Yes.
Just a general comment, right? Something seems to be wrong with the way government is functioning, right? There are departments in government which deal with many of the issues that are raised here by ordinary citizens. And generally speaking, the citizens come up with common sense solutions, to these problems. Well, you want to tell me that these departments, the technocrats in these departments, don't know? I don't think it's that. I think they are, in fact, doing the jobs, but they are overridden by politicians and the politics, right? Because generally, I don't think politicians listen to technocrats, right? Their first inkling is, what's the politics of this? That's how the political directorate thinks, okay? They only see things in the eyes of politics and the next election, all right? And so you can't tell me, for instance, that you have people making a living on the streets, whether selling food or what else, and you're going to just overnight up and cart them somewhere else or not provide adequate provisions for them.
Really wasn't overnight, but I mean, we've been talking about this for quite a while. So the overnight thing is
the market thing was overnight.
Exaggeration.
What did they put in place for the vendors selling food on the road? Nothing, right? And that should not happen. I mean, these are people making a living. There should have been an alternative provided, okay? And some of the policies themselves need to be looked at. It sounds good. All food is now VAT-free. Yeah, right. Okay? So the man who can afford to buy steak must now be competing with the guy who can only buy sardines. That makes sense? To me, it makes sense because the business people don't want to maintain their profit margins, right? And however they do that, it's fine. It's fine. So if they have to tax the steak more and keep the sardine and government price control, keep the sardines down to an acceptable rate, then to me that would make more sense. The biggest back bear the biggest burden. Okay, and if they wanted to do something, bring back Sinaco, and that would help to keep a lid on the prices. But you know how the big business lobby is.
I hear you, Sinaco. I'm all for Sinaco. All right. That's gonna do it for us today. Thanks for all the suggestions, comments, opinions. We'll be back tomorrow if it is to be with much more right here on Frank and Candid. I'm Tony Nias. Have a great day and rest of the day.
Citizen Radio, entertaining the nation, enjoyed by the world.
Refresh and win $10,000 cash with Coca-Cola. Yes, you could be the lucky winner of $10,000.